In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make 100 new plants for free. Yes, that's right, 100 new plants for free in under 10 minutes. Let's get into it. Alright, so how did I make 100 new plants for free in under 10 minutes? Well, quite simply I did it by taking cuttings from plants I already had in the garden. These are some, if we just turn to the left here, that I did last year. These are cultivated blackberry bushes, so blackberry bushes without thorns and with blackberries that taste like toffee. I've also used this technique to propagate roses and buddleia and, well, lots more. And you can even use this technique to propagate your favourite houseplants. I took these cuttings 6 days ago and some of them are already showing signs of activity in the root department. So this is a buddleia that I did. I love my buddleias for flower displays, and you can see where the nodes are, where there would have been other leaves coming out. Little buds have started to form with little whiskery ends on them which are going to turn into roots. This is after 6 days. Some of them are a bit slower. One of the best reasons for doing them now in autumn is that you don't really have any expectation at this stage that they're going to flower and do anything brilliant this year. So you can just sort of nanny them over the winter, seed to them pretty much once a week, and then come spring you should have a good root system that you can plant out, and once they're planted out they will take off. This purple buddleia here, not looking its best at this time of year mind you, is one I took from a small cutting 2 years ago. In less than 10 minutes I took cuttings from box, lavender, rosemary, 3 different types of buddleia, bay, wild rose and a clematis, which I think was slightly too late really. It wasn't in the best condition, but we'll see. From each I took several cuttings, so I took about 5 or 6 from the buddleias. I took loads of rosemary because they were just looking so good and healthy. I thought, wow, this is just great stock for cuttings. And I did 2 clematis actually, and as you can see, look, these are blackberry ones that I did last year. Now these would have been much bigger had I potted them out, but I actually didn't have anywhere to put them. Alright, so what do we need to make all these new plants for free? Well, we need some plants already growing in the garden, and we need some jars of water. You'll need some tall jars, some small jars, depending on the size of your cutting. We need some cutting equipment, and if you're pretty serious about getting this right and recording your progress with cutting so you don't repeat mistakes and you know what works, then you'll need this gardening notebook of mine, which you can buy from Amazon. It's on Prime, and here you can see it does a season overview. You've got some notes, you've got your color coded seasons, so spring is pink, summer is blue, autumn is a rusty kind of color, and winter is a Christmassy evergreen. And then again at the back you've got more space for extra notes, and you've got a supplier list, so you can put everything you buy that's not a cutting in your supplier list. And it's also waterproof to a degree, so you can put it down on a damp surface and it won't ruin. You can just wipe it off. Okay, so that's that. Let's get on with making the cut. I've chosen sage because it's absolutely so easy to root. It's perfect for beginners. So I've taken out a length longer than I need of a sort of a new sprig that's grown this season, and then I'm going to cut it just below where 2 leaves come out, and that's the node where the roots will emerge from. In fact, I'm just going to go to the node just slightly above that one that I showed you, but it's the same, it's just where the next set of leaves come out. And the reason for that is it's a slightly softer wood, it's a more of a soft, it'll be easier to root is what I mean. Anyway, so strip off the lower leaves now, and even these little side shoots. You can save these for the kitchen, for using cooking. Strip off these lower ones. And what you want to do is you want to strip off all the lower leaves, because it's you want the energy to go into the roots, not into the leaves. Some people trim down even the size of the leaves. I'm not going to do that with sage because I know that they will root really quickly. And one of the reasons people do that is to stop the plant losing water so that it doesn't dry out. But since we are forming our roots in water, there's much less chance of us losing, of the plant losing so much moisture that it will die. So especially with sage, we can just afford to keep the leaves intact here, and hopefully the roots will form there where I just showed you. Alright, that's it. That's as easy as that. You can go through as many garden plants as you like now doing the same thing. I'll show you another one. I'm going to chop this one again just here. You need to use better equipment than me. I use this terrible pruning shears, which is just not adequate at all. But anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, strip them off again, the lower leaves. If they're nice, look, that one's been eaten by a caterpillar by the look of it, so don't use that in your cooking. And again, to preserve the energy going into the roots, the nodes, the roots should hopefully appear here where the leaves were, and in it goes in the water. See how easy and quick that is. And I'm going to quickly just show you how to root this red climbing rose. I want another one for the front of my garden, my front garden, which I really don't like, but this, I think I need a red rose growing at the side of my cottage, at the front of my cottage. So I'm going to try and propagate this red rose, which grows really nicely in my back garden. Alright, so I've got a nice long length of new growth this year, and one that doesn't have any flower buds, preferably on the end of it. Alright, so I'm going to divide this into 3 or 4 cuttings by cutting beneath leaf nodes, just as I showed you with the sage, except I'm going to reproduce this along this whole stem to get 4 cuttings. Alright, so the first thing I need to do, apart from avoid the thorns, is to identify where I'm going to make those cuts. And what you're looking for is to have a stem, a cutting that will be cut just beneath one leaf node, but will have also a leaf on top, so that it has a top and a bottom. Okay, so there's my top and there's my bottom, and strip off the leaves in between. You probably want 2 or 3 leaf nodes on your stem before you identify the top, and that gives more opportunity for roots to grow. Now this is quite a lot of leaf here, so I am going to bring it down a tad by cutting off these excess leaves and leaving it with just the 2 here, and a nice clean stem. With roses, I mean, they're so prone to disease, you do actually have to be clean, which is why you can see I changed my cutting tool there. And hopefully the roots will come out where these leaves were. They usually come out the bottom, and I have potted roses, done cuttings in water and in pots, and I have been most successful doing them in water, where I can keep an eye on them on the windowsill. So let's do another one. I'm looking for again another place to find the tip, the leaf node for the bottom, and then for one for the top, and we'll just cut it off. We might have to lose a little bit here, cut it below there, and then we need to find a leaf node which will be the top of our plant. And as you can see, I'm going to go here, and again strip it off. So back to the pots. The reason why I don't like rooting plants in soil is because obviously they have to live out in the garden while they're rooting, and the spare place I have for rooting plants is kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's on the driveway near the garage, and I found that I just do, although I set up a proper little cutting station there, I found that they were just too easy to ignore or neglect when I got involved in other jobs. When I do them in water, I can have them, these nice clean jars on my window ledge, and I must say I actually love having them on my window ledge. My little baby's in my nursery to watch, and that way I can keep an eye on them, and I can take out any that are rotting that are really not going to root, and I can change the water as easy as I can boil the kettle, and I can just really, I can thin them out when they get, the roots start growing. I can, remove them if they need more space and give them their own jar. They're just so much easier. I'm in the kitchen every day, 100 times a day, so I can identify problems fast. That's why I do them this way. I have much more success simply because I give them more time and care. Okay, so this is my last one. Again, strip the leaves and then reduce these excess leaves here. And this is then ready to go into my jar. Was that the last one? Have I got another? No, I've got another one here, I think. See if I can make a cutting out of this. All right, I'll fast forward through this one. I'm going to use, this is the very tip of the rose cutting that I took. And there we go, it's quite a softwood cutting, that one. And so there we have 4 new roses potentially. All right, so that's it. I went on to take some holly cuttings, which were done exactly the same way. And I have plenty more cuttings to take this season. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you would like to see anything that I haven't covered yet, let me know in the comments. And please subscribe, like, click the notification bell and share with your friends. And all that remains is for me to thank you for watching and see you again in the next video. Bye.